Okay, we are live. We are live. Let us. Oh, my collar looks a bit weird. Okay, let's get the music going. First thing, a little bit of a surprise stream today. And again, I am in the tablet grotto. Slightly different configuration for things, but we'll see. I need the music. Oh, there we go. That's what I needed. Let me turn up my own volume so I can hear it better. There we go. There we go. Okay. And let's tell the Discord crew. I accidentally scheduled the stream for 10 p.m., but I meant for 10 in the morning. Let's see. Live, and let's find the stream. Okay, let's tell the Discord crew that I'm live. Okay, at live and on camera now. There we go. There we go. Whew, okay, good. And let's just see. Let me make sure I have my comments where I can see them. Great. Sound effects over here. And close Chrome here. Okay. I'm getting in the center of the camera. Got a couple of things to talk about today. A new product announcement, a beta, as well as a bunch of stuff from Lenovo. I think I'll start with the Lenovo items first because we've got some new devices, we've got a new pen, we've got a video about the pen, which we're going to talk about, and then we'll do the beta of Magma. Yeah, I just found out there's a Magma. Now Ryan, who Aiku draws, that's his blog and his YouTube channel. He is actually the one that did the blog post about this Magma beta. Oh, sorry, it's not Magma beta. It's the Magma desktop beta. So we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna try it out on stream. Okay. But let's talk about Lenovo stuff because I think it will teach us things. And there's actually exciting stuff there, by the way. It's things that we would. Hi JC K's. Good to see you. Thanks for joining our stream. And let me just set up my show notes so that I don't forget what we talk about and have follow-ups. I have been having a busy week. I talk about AI all the time, but I am 100% Claude coding all the time and loving it. And I'll repeat this over and over, so I hope you don't get too tired of me saying it. We can be clear, we all don't like generative AI for art. I think we're all on the same page there. But that doesn't mean all AI is bad, unless you subscribe to the theory that just the creation of AI models itself is bad, which I do not. Generative AI is one problem, but AI that deals with, agentic things like OpenClaw, things like that, are really set, I think, to transform your life. Even if you're not a creative. And I think you should start getting acquainted with these things because you're going to want to use them. And the more skillful you are using them, the more smooth I think things are going to be for you in the future. And this is going to be impactful for you, even if you're doing creative things, as well as if you're not doing, creative things, if you're not drawing, etc. So we will be talking about that more, just in general. But today is going to be about creative things. Let's see, Carlo. Many coding tasks can be implemented in code in only so many ways, and that Gen AI code works differently enough. I'd say, yeah. Also, one of the points I made in one of the streams was the Gen AI coding tasks are built on public code. All my code's on GitHub. I publish it to share so people can use it. I'm not concerned at all that AI or other people reuse it. It's freely available under the MIT license. I encourage it. Right? JC, oh man, I wish the AI situation was positive for artists. It's a bit of a nightmare right now. They're still using it in the wrong areas. They are, but things are getting better. And you know what? I'm going to add that to the show notes. There's something I've always wanted to try out. We're going to see if we can try it. Okay? We're going to see. There's some new Adobe features. I know Adobe, but we have to talk about it. By the way, all my code is open source. Anything I write or talk about with you is always open source. Okay, I just want to make sure everyone knows that. So this week I had there's a project I've been involved with writing code for since 2003. Yeah, so over 20 years, and I haven't worked on that project for six years, let's say. And then it's been missing documentation. It's been missing a lot of documentation. It was documented. It's been missing some extra test cases. It was missing a little bit of cleanup. I hadn't responded to user feedback in about 5 years. So I've been using Claude Code, let's go through and just get the hygiene of the product or the code base going. Because even if I never work on it again, I'd like to leave it in a good state. Hi, Kaninia, good to see you. We have a new laptop, we have a new mini PC, we have a new pen. So that's what Lenovo did. And they have a video about the pen, which we're going to talk about, because we have to parse what they're saying, right? Carlos says, since humans checking these things are limited and need time to see the stuff make sense, and if it's in line in how they code their... Yes. I think I'm going to say it again, even if you're doing creative things, forget about it drawing for you. I'm not talking about that. There are things it can do for you that you will want it to do for you, like managing your calendar, like helping you deal with your schedule, like all these things which are not Gen AI, in the Gen AI in the sense of artistic Gen AI. These are just practical, useful, daily things, and the pace is accelerating, and so we have to get cognizant of that. I know I'm ranting about it again, but I have to say it like this. 50 years ago, it wouldn't have made sense for me to talk about, I'm living my life on my phone. That really wouldn't have made sense. It wouldn't have been practical. Now, of course, we take it for granted that a lot of what you do, as it relates to your work, even your life, your personal life, will involve your phone. In ways that, you could, and even driving, getting maps, etc. And similar things going to happen with AI. We don't have to call it AI. You can call it anything you want, but it's going to become something that you assume is available to you 24/7 all the time. You will not be able to even imagine your life without it. And I don't say this simply because I own stock in Microsoft or something, and because I stand to financially benefit. It is transforming my life. And one of the things there's something I think about a lot, which is a colleague said to me, we're not just trying to sell people software. We're also showing them a better way of working. And I think it's important for us to do that. To show you there's a better way of doing things and to live that life so you can see what can be done. Maybe, Rain, maybe. We think we got to talk about what they're saying and what they built. Okay, hang on. Let me get my show notes here before I forget. This Office, OneNote. What is the date? I hope everyone had a good May the 5th. I went to the dentist, and my dentist was very happy with me. And I love my dentist. They're just the great. The hygienist is great. The dentist is great. Okay, May is 5th, and it's the 7th. Okay. Okay. So we have Lenovo. I'm just going to write down the agenda. We have a Lenovo. We have a new Lenovo Mini PC. You got to see this thing. We have a new Lenovo 2-in-1. We got to see that. We have a Lenovo pen we have to talk about. We have Magma desktop beta. I think I'll save that one for last. We have Adobe, I think it's called Turntable. Turntable, yeah, we're gonna take a look at that. Turntable. I think it's called Turntable. We'll take a look at that. I've been wanting to use it for a long time. Okay, so let's start with the Mini PC, which is the first thing that I was informed about. Let's see. And as always, I'd recommend people join the Discord, by the way. Where is the Mini PC? Okay, now I'm not going to play the audio because YouTube freaks out every time I play audio. And just give me a minute to make sure that I have all system audio. Let me mute it because it's going to... Just when I play the video, just imagine there's like really high energetic hip-hop music playing, okay? Okay, so I'm just gonna let it play. There's no words to it. Well, there's the song lyrics, but they don't really matter. Let me, what is this? There's some, okay, you can't see it yet. So let me make sure my scene, I think this is it. Yeah, okay. This is not quite right. Not quite right. There we go. There we go. Okay. And okay, it's expanded. So I'm going to let it play. It's only about a minute, and I might pause it, but I'm not going to play the audio because it's just going to get me in trouble. Okay, Lenovo Yoga, sorry. Oops, let me mute it. Okay, so already you can see it looks to be about the size of a Mac Mini, but a puck shape. Puck, like a hockey puck. Okay. And it looks attractive. I gotta say, it does look attractive. It looks clean. But there's some interesting features here. Okay, so it's an Intel Core Ultra X7 processor. So not the I think the highest end one right now, I think this is a Panther Lake processor. And it says X7, so they don't have an X9 variant, which is neither good nor bad. It just, lets you, just a detail. It's called a Copilot Plus PC. I'm not really, these Copilot Plus PCs have not delivered really incredible AI features. So I'm going to ignore, that. Okay. 1L. I don't know what this means exactly. 1L? I don't think it's saying 1 liter. I don't understand. Maybe it is. I don't know. But 600 grams. I don't like the language here, but it only weighs 600 grams, which is pretty good. If light is important to you, and I can tell you why light is going to be important to you later. This is interesting. Smart presence detection powered by Wi-Fi proximity sensing. So I'm guessing here the radio signal, the Wi-Fi signal itself will tell if a human is nearby. Can it detect it's you? I don't know. Is it scary? Yes. I don't mean like electromagnetic radiation scary. Is it scary that there's some privacy issues here? Yeah, it could be. Could be. Oh, let me turn off the background music while I'm doing this. Okay. Secure your PC with your fingertip. Supports Windows Hello and Copilot plus Recall. Don't care. I don't like Recall, so I'm not going to talk about. I mean, I'm never going to use it. You know what? I got to tell you, having used now a couple of laptops and mini PCs with fingerprint sensor, it is super convenient. It's super. I mean, it is super convenient to like. It is your computer is locked, and then just you put your finger there, and it just unlocks. Now I will say this: it having the fingerprint sensor mounted on a vertical surface like this is weird. Like it's. Can you imagine like? How can I show this to you? Yeah, I'll just use this mouse here as an example. Imagine the fingerprint sensor's on the side of the mouse, and you have to do like, what do you have to do, right? It's awkward. It'd be easier if the fingerprint sensor was on top, right? That's how it is on my MacBook Pro keyboard. But that's okay. But I'm just saying the sensor itself is good. It's a little confusing because there's the power on off here, so I think this button does dual duty. So I'm always a little concerned about it accidentally turning off the computer. So we'll see. As is tradition with Windows computers, there's a sticker on it telling you which processor in it. And of course, this just diminishes the aesthetics of this, but whatever. It's just classic Windows move. Let's see. Yeah, the Wi-Fi thing is a bit unsettling. Like, I guess it's just it's already sending out the signal, so it's taking advantage of what it's already doing. Carlos says, on the technological side, it's interesting. On the personal, it's more of a, why the heck would I want this? I think there are reasons, Carlo, and I will talk about the reasons. When I saw this, I thought, whatever. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, okay, this could have some promise. And I'll talk about why in just a little bit. It might be 1 liter. It might be, right? It might be 1 liter. But it's just weird. It's weird. I mean, it's just a weird thing to emphasize. It's 1 liter. Like, whoever talks about the volume of something, right? I'd love to see this next to a Mac Mini. I'd love to see that. Okay. Okay, notice there's these little dots here, holes. I suspect that these are microphones. Okay, so that's interesting. I think it is nice to have a PC that has a microphone built into it. I don't think those are speakers. I think the speakers are probably mounted on the bottom. By the way, speaking of the bottom, it's hard to tell, but I think that this little thing here, this yellow disc, is part of the bottom. Not totally sure. It's unclear to me whether this is just like a coaster or is it really part of the device. We'll see. I think it's part of the device. But I think it's convenient to have a microphone on these devices. However, the microphones are never great. Okay, but it says intelligence. You can see adaptive light that reacts to what you do. Okay, curious about that. Yeah, Lumiyard, it's just a weird thing to mention. Liters, right? Oh, good point, Carlo. Like, oh, yeah, it's going to fit my TSA. It's going to pass TSA. I think at the end of the day, the fundamental question for me is it as big or small as the Mac Mini? That's the question that has to get answered. Now, let's see if they have a demo of this adaptive lighting. Okay, you see there. Okay, now it looked like the lighting changed. Let me scroll back a little bit. Yeah, it was blue here, and now it became bright and kind of purplish. Okay, so it wasn't, the thing on the bottom is not yellow. That was just the color I saw. I think that's cool. It tells me two things. It's kind of like environment aware, which is nice. Number 2, it's not just a coaster. It is part of the device. Okay, let's look at the back. The back is actually interesting. Okay, So there's now you don't know this yet, but there's a Thunderbolt 4 port right here. Okay, and then there's a so there's one USB-C Thunderbolt 4 port, another USB 10 gigabit port. I guess this is USB 3. There's another 10 gigabit USB-A port. There's an HDMI port, good. There's a network port, great. This, you don't know it yet. This HDMI label is for the top, the HDMI port, obviously. This is not, at the bottom here, is not an HDMI port. It's a USB-C port, but what's this tell you? This thing gets power through a USB-C port, which is great. That's more like a laptop in that sense. It can get power through this port. Now we got to find out what these ports are capable of doing. Obviously the Thunderbolt port is capable of display port, meaning you can use it as a monitor. I believe this port also is capable of sending a display signal. You'll see why I say that in a second. Plus we'll look at the specs. I believe this port is also capable of a display port, okay? So lots of ports. I do wish there was one more USB-A, to be quite honest. I just think it's convenient to have two. Hi, Miha. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. The purpose of the LED is to blink red when the teams call. That's actually a good idea. That's actually a good idea. Let's see, Carlo. I think we wouldn't have minded at least a couple more ports. Yeah, it's reasonable. It's reasonable. It's about, I think, what a Mac Mini has. Aquaray, good to see you. Good to see you. And thanks for the like reminder, Aquaray. Okay, let us continue. Okay, now so this is a quick rotation. The only cable coming out of this puck is actually going from the puck to the monitor. What does this tell you? That cable, well, first of all, it tells you the port is capable of receiving power as well as sending DisplayPort. Also, it tells you if your monitor will supply power, you can have a very clean one cable setup, just as is shown in this video. Okay? One cable to your monitor if your monitor supports power delivery, enough power delivery. Okay? Now, this other cable from the monitor is the monitor's power. So I do like this. This is really nice. This is kind of like a thing you'd expect for a modern laptop. So this is cool. This is cool. Okay. Next thing they say is 4 displays. What does this tell us implicitly? Now, they don't show the cables, of course. They want a nice clean picture. But it's nice to have 4 displays. Number 2, it tells us that most probably that obviously the HDMI port sends a display signal. The question is, so probably at least 3 of the USB-C ports can also send a display signal. That's really good. That's a really good thing. Hi, Charlie Martian. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Next stream idea. The rise and fall of Bioxy Cola. What is that? Oh, cola addiction. I didn't even see you posted it. Is that Bio? No, it's Bloxy Cola. Okay. So I think it's great to have multiple displays for a couple of reasons. Just, by the time you have 2 displays is normal and you want a pen display, that's 3. It's fantastic. Okay, and in the front we have a little headphone jack. Awesome. And another Thunderbolt 4 port. Okay. Now it says also built-in accelerometer for instant touch-based interaction. I don't know why they mention an First of all, I know what an accelerometer is. Why do you need it for touch-based interaction? I don't know, but I guess you do. Somehow touching it will do things. I don't know what. Okay, so first of all, it's called Lenovo Yoga. Whenever I see the yoga branding, you know what I think of? Dal Sim from Street Fighter, right? When he says yoga fire and he sends those fireballs up. A weird name, but okay. Also, Mini, I1L. You know, in lots of fonts, if you type in like a capital I, 1L, they look like the same character. So not a fan of that. Why would you put the volume of the device in the name? As I say with all tech products, to any brand who's listening, you need help naming things, you should contact me. I'm very good at naming things, and I will prevent you from naming things badly. Smack the top to accept the Teams call. Yeah, that's a good feature, actually. That is a good feature, honestly. I think it's good. Last stream was sick. Thanks, Cola. I think you helped make that stream as enjoyable as it was. Okay, let's see what we got. Power in your palm, as if you're gonna hold it. Oh, okay. So that was the entire video. But let's take a look at the specs. Okay, let's take a look at the specs. By the way, this thing is going to be available in June. Okay. Now I have no idea about the price. It's not listed, but let's take a look at the specs. Lenovo Mini i1L. Mini i1L. Okay, it's now it's called the Idea Center Mini i. Is this it? No, it's a different one. Confusing naming already. Here it is. There's some PDF here. Let's zoom in. And let me turn my music back on. Huawei needs your help. Do they? Is it bad? They just renamed their self-explanatory MatePad Pro 13.2 tablet to MatePad Pro. Oh my gosh. They could not have named it worse. It sounds like a phone. You know, here's the thing. Like, I joke about Qualcomm naming the next Intuos Pro the Pro Max. But when you do, first of all, I think the Pro Max thing is actually decent naming. But if everyone's going to copy it, because I think Dell copied it too, then it's going to get confusing. Okay, let's turn on the sound effects again. Okay, so you get my music. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, Intel Core Ultra X7 Series 3. I think that means Panther Lake. Okay, look at this. Dual Thunderbolt 4. So now we know at least 2 of them support DisplayPort. 100-watt Type-C adapter. Okay, so obviously that's how much power you need, right? Anything else in here? Looks like you can get it with an Ultra 5. Look at this. You can get it with 16 gigabytes or 32 gigabytes. That's good. 32 gigabytes, I think, should be the standard now. Storage, you can get it with 512 or 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. Very good. Very good. Don't know price. Power supply 100. Looks like the exhaust for the heat is on the bottom. Let's see at the top. Okay, so let's look at the ports. The rear ports. 1 Thunderbolt 4. Okay, so all 3 of the USB-C ports support DisplayPort out, which is good. That's actually super excellent. That's actually super excellent. Okay, and then the front also has a Thunderbolt, which obviously supports. So 4 USB-C ports, all of which support DisplayPort out, which is fantastic. Loving it. I'm loving it. Accessories. You get. I don't understand. There's a monitor. There's. Oh, and it comes with McAfee Live Safe, which obviously no one wants, but okay. New Mac Mini has Thunderbolt. Yeah, I think on the Thunderbolt Mini, the back ports are Thunderbolt 5, but not the front ports. 5. I have it, but I don't know. I can't remember the specs. I think so. That is still gonna provide a bit more than speeds and max resolution. Yes, that's correct. Good point, Carlo. That's a good point. Though I don't think really people need Thunderbolt 5. Okay. And by the way, Thunderbolt 5 cables are expensive. on top of the existing expense of the Thunderbolt 4 cables. My theory is that the marketing division, My theory is that the marketing division, all industries, is being heavily automated. Too many products with horrible names. Yeah, something is off. Something is off with it. McAfee is more of a malware than an antivirus. At this point, yeah. I'm going to just say this because I used to work in antivirus and something like that anyway in Windows. You do not need, listen, Windows comes with Windows Defender and Windows Firewall. You do not need another antivirus, okay? I'm just going to say it out loud. There's nothing you can do to convince me you need additional protection, okay? Nothing. So I think if you get a PC with these McAfees or whatever, just uninstall it. You don't need anything else than what Windows has built in. As long as you just turn it on, leave it on. Okay. LumiArt, I'm not sure if it's shady or not. I always had that feeling. I certainly don't think they provide additional protection, so it's useless. They might be using Claude for all their work. Hi, Cami Luna. Cami Luna has joined us, one of my favorite people. Always love it when you can listen in Cami Luna. Always love it. Thank you for showing up. Okay. So let's just take a look if I can find any more. Where are the specs published on this thing? There's another thing here. Let's see. Can we see anything else here? Yeah, it's a big picture. That's all they have. So it looks like it was announced in January. Okay, here's another page. Stupid thing. They're not showing me the thing I want to see. Anyway, on some page I found, it said this thing was going to be released in June. Okay. So let me talk to you a little bit about mini PCs. Okay. I think mini PCs are a fantastic, even if you're not even a beginner, but certainly if you're a beginner, they're a fantastic way for you to start using digital art. Let me just say the reasons why. You might want a powerful laptop. You might want a really powerful pen computer, like what is that thing called? Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. The problem with a laptop is they're crazy expensive for what you get. And the pens on laptops, none of them are great compared to a Wacom pen or even a Huion PW600 pen or even an XP pen, X3 Pro pen. So the drawing experience on a 2-in-1 laptop is not great. They're okay, it's not great. And they're expensive. Number two, you get all that, and they don't come with this often. If you want to get good drawing specs, they don't come with what you need. Try getting 32 gigabytes of RAM in a laptop. It's like you're talking like into $3,000 range. Okay. So rather than getting a pen computer, which is at least $3,000, and to repair them is impossible, and you basically have to spend another $1,000 to repair them. Trust me. Go look at r/Wacom and look at the number of people who need to fix their Mobile Studio Pro, and they'll come right back on the Reddit and say, "Oh, I was quoted. It's going to be $1,000 to fix, and I have to return the unit." The expense is crazy. So what I think people should do if they want to be mobile, I'm not talking about mobile like on your couch drawing. I'm talking about mobile like you got to travel somewhere or you got to work somewhere in a different office or you want to work downstairs, but not literally lying on the bed or something. You just want to set up a different office. Here's my proposal for you. Instead of getting a laptop, instead of getting a mobile computer or even a moving pad, consider getting a mini PC with a pen display. Okay? So the mini PC that I use, this is my primary drawing mini PC, by the way, is I'll bring it up. I talk about this all the time. I sound like I'm a Menace Forum shill now. It's the Minisforum UM870 Slim. Okay? So let me just bring it up because I do think it's important to show you this. Okay? It's this thing. Okay? It's a UM870. And you got to be careful which one you select here. So I'm going to select 32 gigabytes, 1 terabyte of RAM. And yeah, 870 plus. Okay? What is the cost of this? So 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte. Let's just go ahead and just, the cost, I'll add to cart so you can see the cost, okay? $719, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's cheap, but the reason the price is $700, which is not expensive, by the way, is because of the RAM price. When I got this on Amazon, it cost me $475. It's under $500. But try getting a laptop with these specs for $720. You're not gonna get it. So $700 mini PC, which with pretty good specs, and you can replace the SSD. You could replace, so it's like serviceable, and get like a what do you call it? A pen display, 13-inch pen display, Huion Canvas 13 Gen 3, $230. For less than $1,000, you're getting a better drawing experience than any laptop can give you. And it's very mobile. Yeah, I know. It's like this, little box like this doesn't look like a laptop, but it's not that. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to bring it in front of me so you can. Actually, I'll bring that in a Mac Mini just to show you. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm gonna do an overhead to show you. But first, let me just show you all the devices. First, I want to let you know that this is an iPhone Pro Max 17. By the way, I don't even have this hooked up to my cell account. I just use this for like Discord. I know, I'm a strange guy. So I just want you to. I'm gonna hold it just so you understand the size of this thing, okay? And don't worry, I'm gonna lay it out. But let me just present to you all the devices. This is my tour box. Okay? You roughly see how big this is, okay? I know it's a bit fuzzy because of the camera. Now this is, just before, this is a Mac Mini. This has 64 gigabytes of RAM. It cost me about, I want to say it cost me $2,000, maybe $3,000. Why does it say the word Laureate on there? I label all my computers so I know which one I'm talking about because I remote desktop a lot. And I almost always label them with the name of French cities. So Lorient, or if you're French, I'm sorry I don't pronounce the name correctly, but I just love the way the names of French cities are spelled. So Lorient is this M4 Mac Mini. Notice 3 USB 4 ports, Thunderbolt 4 ports, HDMI, network, and power, right? And then 2 USB up front, and I think a headphone jack, okay? This is the Minisforum, the very one I'm talking about, which is named Annecy, another French city. It's a little bit big, but not by much. right? It's a little bit taller, and it's a little bit. Let me go like this, right? It's not by much. It's like maybe just 4 millimeters wider. Okay, this cost me $500. Now it's $700. It does look. Turbox does look nice, doesn't it? Oh, hi Mir. Hi Mir. This one. Look at the port differences, by the way. So I get. I know you can't see it. There we go. The Minus Forum, which is this one, has a USB 4, DisplayPort, HDMI, 2 USB A's, network, headphone, and 2 USB A's in the front. Okay, $500 now $700 to like almost $3,000. 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, right? So basically, with $1,000, even if you had to spend $700 for this, for $1,000 you could get a very good beginner setup. Okay, so I just want you to consider that when, I know a lot of you already use tablets, but I'm just trying to make sure you understand my thinking here. This is a better investment to get something like this, right? And it's user serviceable. Like you can actually open this up and get someone to fix it. This is a much different, more difficult thing. Now, this is essentially silent. Is this silent? No. But it is almost as silent as this thing, okay? Like every now and then I'll notice the fan will come on just a little bit, but it's not loud. It is less loud than any laptop I have. Okay, so I have very powerful machines. I have a 128 gigabyte thing with an RTX 4070. I have many 64 gigabyte machines. Okay, I have a 96 gigabyte. Like I have lots of machines. Do you know which one I actually draw with? This one. And I'm on a Mac right now streaming, but on my other desk, I stream from another. I have 2 of these, and I stream from these. Okay, so again, I am just telling you, not a bad idea. It's very portable. Okay, so that was my pitch for mini PCs. Now I mentioned Minus Forum. I have a number of Minus Forums, but this one's probably, in its weird way, this is my favorite because it's just it is the quietest one I have. And it's the one that's the most value, right? And I have no difficulties referring this to people, right? And making a recommendation. Okay, so that was that. So, okay, now we'll talk about the Lenovo thing. I'm really hoping, do I have any complaints about this? No, I really have none. But the Lenovo has four USB-C ports. Right now, this one only has 1, which is fine, but I think you should at least have 2. It just makes it easier to have a monitor or 2 things that require USB-C DisplayPort. Okay, let me take a look at chat. Mad Max is here. How many liters? Lemire says, that's a good question. I don't know. Let's see. Mirror's a Ryzen user. Celerons. Oh, Cami Luna. I have bad memories of those days. Really bad memories. Hanem, yes, you're right. Modern system on chips have become powerful and power efficient enough to make mini PCs. Yes, they absolutely have. We are in a golden era. Okay, we're in a real golden era. In fact, while I don't plan on getting another like tower desktop, or if I do, it would have to be a real strong reason. Like I'd consider it for doing some local AI, but not for normal usage. I'm just done with that, okay? I'm done with that. Yeah, you're right. Back in the day, mini PCs had to be these like low power devices. Now they're very powerful, okay? Oh, by the way, on this literal one, I do coding on this. I do artwork with Clip Sheet of Paint. Now, do I do gaming? No, it's not good for gaming. Do I do 3D work? No, I wouldn't recommend this for 3D work, right? I haven't really tried either. But for watching 4K videos and things, or video editing, it's probably okay, but it's probably would stutter, I guess. But for anything 2D, it's great. It's great. I do all browsing. I do coding. I do document edit. This is super powerful. Again, $700 now. It went down to $500. Okay, so there's my There's my Minus Forum spiel, or actually my mini PC spiel. So we got to look forward to devices like this. JC says, it's like people have thousands of dollars in their Steam library and keep playing the simplest game. In the end, convenient. Yes. By the way, I'm actually, just on that note, I'm actually playing now, when did it come out? Splinter Cell Blacklist on my other mini PC. It's a Minisform AIX1 Blacklist. When did it come out? 2013. Can I do drawing on that? Absolutely. This is what I draw on normally. Almost all my drawing for real is on this machine. This literal machine I'm holding in my hand. I don't even use my more powerful ones for drawing. There's no need. When I'm drawing on stream, you see me using this one. Yeah, it is a great game. I just want to be able to run Clip Studio Paint Tool SAW and Paint Tool SAW if I want to play video games. That's what yeah, exactly. You know, we don't have to have every machine do everything for us. I mean, it's cool sometimes, but you know, even with these machines, actually, you know what? I should try Splinter Cell on this one, or my other favorite game, Deus Ex Human Revolution. Because I like that game from I think 2016, 2011. Like I bet you would play Deus Ex Human Revolution is like 2011. I bet you it would play really well on this machine. We'll see. Let's see. What do you think of buying ThinkPads like T480 with a pen tablet? Let me take a look at that ThinkPad real quick. ThinkPad what was it? T480. Let's bring it up so everyone can see. Released January 2018. Okay, it's older, but not too old. For me, it's kind of like, when will support end? And what were the specs? Let's take a look. Wikipedia has. It looks like did support end? I'm not sure. Oh, let's see. It'll end in 20. Okay, so support end in 2025. I'm trying to find the specs. Let's just take a look. Specs. Not bad actually. If it came with 32 gigabytes of RAM, but not bad. And it seems like it has Thunderbolt, so that's good. I'll bet you this probably does surprisingly well for art, for 2D art with Clip Studio. I bet you it would do surprisingly well. Now its graphics card its GPU is only 2 gigabytes, which is probably okay. Yeah, I think we'd be surprised how well it would do. Let's see. Hanem says I still do art on Intel Gen 6, 7, anything that came out recently. Our orders, yeah, exactly. Mir says T480 legendary laptop. Rain says, what do I think with XP Pen Artist third? I thought it was. I have the XP Pen Artist 12 third, and I thought it was fine. And so on that same belief, I think probably the XP Pen Artist 16 third is probably a great laptop for 16-inch. Or sorry, not laptop, pen display. But take a look at like if Brad reviewed it or Tio reviewed it, right? People found that for $80. Wow. JC says, I'll keep these mini PCs in mind for my next purchase. I'm still waiting to see what happens to the XP Pen. There seem to be some sort of supply problem. Like lots of people are saying they can't, and they said this on their Reddit. They're just having problems having things on their store. I found one for $200. Damn, that's actually, for what you're getting specs-wise, it seems pretty good. Yeah, 8 years old, yeah. Let's see, I use T480 for dev a lot. It's solid, though a bit dated, yeah. But I think someone, like if you had like a child who was like starting to their art journey, I think it would probably work pretty well. Right? I love the idea that the computers we have available are so good right now. Meaning, we've evolved so much with our power that even things that are not expensive or even a little bit out of date work great, right? We are really living in a time where we need that, because with RAM prices, look, I can afford buying a lot, but there's a threshold that gets crossed where I'm just not going to do it for I won't buy things on principle, because I think in principle it's like, or principle, out of principle I will not purchase certain devices because I don't think it's right that they're that expensive. I was pricing out some computers that used to be $3,000, now they're like $5,000. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to spend $5,000 on some of these computers now because of the RAM prices and other component prices going up. So it is important that people are able to find solutions that cost less. The good news, there's lots of stuff out there that costs less, right? And I pointed this out because it's a great example. Even with the RAM prices, it's $700, right? This is a good deal even a couple of years ago. So I have no problem saying it's a good deal today. Honestly, want to get the Cintiq 16 Pro latest version. I missed the Pro Pen 2. I'll say the Cintiq Pro 2021 is still a really good tablet. Let's not forget that. I don't know why we think, I have one. It's an excellent, and it has touch. Too bad you can't use Pro Pen 2 on them. Yeah, that is that's awful. That's awful. Okay, so that was one of the Lenovo things. There was another Lenovo item on the agenda. Let me hide stuff for a second and we'll come. Okay, so that was okay, so there's a video about the pen, but before we get that, it's a review, but I'm just gonna, it's like a 10-minute review. I'm not gonna watch it, but I'm just gonna scroll through it. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so this is the Yoga 7A 2-in-1. Let's just take a look. Ryzen AI 7, 30 gigabytes of RAM, great. 14 inches, 1 terabyte. Okay, $1,300. Okay, so already you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, this thing has a screen and it's a 2-in-1, but it is $1,300 or $1,200. Which is a lot more than 700, right? Any updates on Gamma? Mir will never let me forget that. Did I get that tablet? I think Mir, you know what? I think I never did reorder it when the order was canceled, so I'll have to remember that. I've gone back to using the Pro Pen 2, by the way. That's my new favorite again. Okay, let's see. Anything interesting? It's got that weird screen. DCI-P3. Okay, looks good. This person said the OLED is good. Okay, let's listen to what he says with the Wacom. Let's just see what he says. Okay, hang on. Okay, let's go.
Panels in laptops like this. And because this display is so good, let me show you something. The Yoga Pen Gen 2 comes included in the box. You don't have to buy
Yoga Pen Gen 2. Okay.
Buy it separately, and look, that's a big deal. This is a Wacom powered stylus. So you're getting proper pen technology, not some cheap capacitive stick. A lot of competitors.
Okay, so again, realistically in this market, there's two big kinds of pen tech. There's capacitive, which is AES, even Apple Pencil, and MPP. Capacitive doesn't necessarily mean bad, but I think in general the consensus is EMR, the other kind, work better. Within EMR, there are two kinds. We can talk about them as Wacom UD EMR. Now, most people just call that Wacom EMR, okay? Which I understand why they say that. But I prefer saying Wacom UD EMR. UD stands for Ultra Digitizer. It's reliable older tech. It provides an okay drawing experience. UDMR does not gives you Samsung S Pen, the Wacom One pens. You'll never get a truly great experience with a UDMR pen. I've never seen one with a great experience. Then I would use the phrase Wacom Professional EMR, which is Pro Pen 2, Pro Pen 3. Those are only available on Wacom Pro devices.
Either don't include one or charge 50 to $100 extra.
Also, this pen case that attaches to the computer, that just looks weird. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan.
50 to $100 extra. So Lenovo is basically saying, hey, we know you bought a 2-in-1, so here is one. You get to actually use it straight out of the box. And you can see right here, this is me sketching in Adobe Fresco. The pressure sensitivity is working, the strokes are smooth, and on this OLED display.
Okay, look, I don't want to pick on this guy, but let me just say it like this. Hang on, let's listen to what he literally says. Let's listen to what he says.
We know you bought a 2-in-1, so here is one. You get to actually use it straight out of the box. And you can see right here, this is me sketching in Adobe Fresco. The pressure sensitivity is working, the strokes are smooth, and on this...
Okay. I don't know this guy, I don't know what he does, but let me just say this. This statement is just not enough, okay? This statement of... Sorry, let me fix this thing here. Let me get back there. Secondary. Yeah. Oh, I know what happened here. Okay, so let's go back.
A box. And you can see right here, this is me sketching in Adobe Fresco. The pressure sensitivity is working, the strokes are smooth, and on...
This is me sketching in Adobe Fresco. This pressure is working and the strokes are smooth. That's not enough. If you're going to talk about pens, we need more than, quote, the pressure is working and the strokes are smooth. It's not enough. Okay? And this, again, maybe he's going to clarify later, but that is, that is, what's the right word here? That's enough. That is not enough guidance for someone watching your video to go on. The pressure is working. To quote Chris Rock, what do you want, a cookie? Like, you can't say that. I'm going to quote Chris Rock again. The pressure's supposed to be working. What do you want, a cookie? You got to say more carefully things like what was the lightest amount of pressure that let you, and you got to compare it. You have to develop a sense of the IAF, that lightest amount of pressure that causes stroke. You got to compare it to other pens. If all you've ever used are these Wacom EMR pens, these UDMR, you have a very distorted sense of what good pressure is like. If you've never measured the pressure, I'm big on measuring, then you don't have a lot of sense of what to expect, okay? You got to start measuring. This is why, we want to see Brad and Tio talk about the IF, what it they may not use a scale, but they talk about what it feels like, and they can compare it to other pens they have, okay? You got to say, how hard could you press? You got to say, like, when I drew with small pressure, did it make the line look weird? How did I have to deal with the pressure curve to make it look correct? You got to try in different applications. Fresco is an app. I'm exaggerating, so Adobe, don't get mad. Fresco is an app used by like 10 guys in Sweden or something. Like, no one uses, I don't want to pick on Swedish people, But that was my joke at Microsoft. Whenever I wanted to say, like, we had a small number of users of a feature, my joke was always, oh, there's like, the only people use it like 10 guys in Sweden. So that's the origin of that joke. Why I picked on Sweden, I don't know. But you got to do, you know, you got to have a little more experience, right, to talk about these things. And then he's like, the strokes are smooth. Again, you can't just use Fresco. You got to like use Krita or Clipsheet Paint. Like Brad's great at this. He tried, and Tio was great. They tried different apps, right? So I don't want to, you know, rag on this guy too much, but like you just can't rely on if you're really sensitive about drawing, you can't rely on a casual review of a pen like this, right? Because this person's not giving you enough data to understand what you're getting. This review probably works for someone who has never experienced a Wacom tablet. But if you have used a Wacom Pro tablet and this guy is saying, oh, the pressure working great and this worked great, you might get disappointed because I for sure guarantee you the pressure is not that great, right? And I can prove that to you with numbers, by the way. Let's see, Hainem says, historically, laptops with pens that used older tech weren't very good for art. The new pen is significant because it's the debut of Wacom AES 2.0, which claims better performance. I believe you, but what we got to see are the exact claims. When I say claims, I don't mean like someone's claiming this is true. I mean like, what is the IAF? How, you know, and also when someone says something's better, it's like, have you ever heard about this? I forgot the scientific principle by Popper, which is like, is it falsifiable, right? Falsifiable means like, can you construct a test which would falsify or verify your claim? So if someone says AES is better and they say, oh, the pressure is better, like, well, what's the test for that, right? Now you can do a test where you measure a scale, that's one. You can do a test by saying, oh, we did some kind of double-blind study and like, there was a big significant increase in people who rated this higher. We can verify that. Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm going to forget this, but it's important that I mention this. We are going to run an experiment. We're going to run an experiment. I have a plan, okay? Now, this may be a two-phase plan, but let me tell you, you're going to be part of the first ever real drawing tablet experiment, distributed experiment, I think ever run on the web, okay? Here's what we're going to do. So, and I know this is a total like different topic than this Lenovo thing. We'll get back to it in a second, but I'm so excited. I got to tell you about this plan. Ever since man first picked up a stylus and drew on like hieroglyphs and wax tablets thousands of years ago, there's been one fundamental question. How many pressure levels do you need? Because when you're drawing on wax tablets, you have essentially infinite pressure levels. They never thought about this. But manufacturers keep on saying you need 16,000. I claim you need 2,000. I've also claimed, by the way, that you actually need less than 2,000. Like you wouldn't even notice. And the little few tweaks you really wouldn't notice, okay? So here's my plan. Now, the plan requires you to do something. So I'm gonna but I want your feedback. I'm gonna create a web app, a public web app, which is like a quiz, okay? It's not gonna ask you questions to answer. It's not a knowledge quiz. It's not a survey. It's gonna ask you to draw, I'm making up the numbers here, so bear with me. It's gonna ask you to draw 20 times. Each time, it's gonna ask you just to draw for like 5 or 6 seconds. That's it. So it'll take you a couple of minutes to finish, okay? It's gonna be a web app. And what the web app is gonna do, it's gonna be a simple canvas. In fact, it's gonna look like just here's a brush, and it's just gonna say, it's just gonna be a black strokes on a white background. You're just gonna draw. Okay, and it'll probably ask you like draw a really thin stroke, draw a thick stroke, and then just draw whatever you want. Just make sure you exercise all the pressure. And that's all it's going to tell you to do. You're going to draw 20 times for a few seconds each, and then it's going to say thank you for the testing. Now, each time it lets you draw a stroke, it's going to ask you a question, okay? Which is, how many pressure levels do you think you were using when you were drawing this stroke? Okay? It's not, and it's, when it asks you these questions, it's not going to tell you the right answer. It just wants your feedback. Because what's actually happening is every time you're told to draw a stroke, sometimes it's letting your tablet just use whatever. Sometimes it's artificially limiting to less pressure. Okay? Now, sometimes you'll be drawing with 128 levels of pressure. Sometimes with 64. Sometimes with 2,000. Okay? It's not going to tell you that. Now, half the time, it's going to let you draw with no pressure smoothing. And then the other half is going to turn on pressure smoothing. Now, you might be able to detect when this happens. Okay? But it's going to just store your answers. And then it's going to show you a summary at the end of how well you did. Okay? And it's going to say, here's how good you are at knowing how many pressure levels you are using. Okay? My prediction is you will be able to have some sense of how many pressure levels you're using in the cases where smoothing is not used. Where smoothing is used, you're gonna have real trouble. Okay? In any case, it's going to show you results, and then it's going to just say, hey, would you mind if we send these results to 7 pens? So it's going to send an email, which you need to approve. And, you'll have to click send, I guess. And then I'm going to collect the data. Now, could someone take the email and like forge it and like mess up? And yeah, sure, I guess someone could do that, right? But, and of course, I'm going to see your email address. So, obviously I won't publish that, or you can just not send it if you don't want to. But we're going to try collecting data, and we're going to answer the question, how many pressure levels do you need? Okay? We'll see. And I'm not going to say I know exactly what the answers are going to be, but I predict it's going to be surprising for all of us, and me included. Okay? So that's just a preview. We're going to actually get some data on this topic. At least the starting point is some data. Okay, what do we got here? Paint Tool Sci forces Windows Ink support at downgrade 128 pressure levels. It's very interesting. So does Krita, Cami Luna. So does Krita. So for everyone who's been using Krita, 8K is overkill. Yes, Mir. Everyone who's using Krita on Windows, if you're using Windows Ink, you're only getting 1,000 pressure levels. Okay? And that's a statement from the Krita developers. I'll ask them. I'll send them an email just to confirm this. But yeah, that's what I've heard them say. Gotta remember was that extension I had that enabled pressure sensing in the browser for this. Maybe. Now, actually, what I should do is create like an app that you can run on Windows, because Windows, I know exactly how many pressure levels you have. With the web, weird things happen. Okay, actually, you know what? This is wrong. I should not do this on the web, because with Windows Ink, I still think you're only getting 1,000. Okay, so I'm gonna have to create an actual app for Windows. I'm gonna do it with Windows only, because it makes life simpler for me, because I know what the APIs look like. It's gonna require WinTab, and that way I can tell exactly what's going on, like how many pressure levels. Nothing's hidden for the pressure levels. And then, okay, we'll do it that way. I'll make it a Windows app, okay? Source code will be available, so you'll know it's not gonna steal any data from you. Mir says, I'll participate since I have 16K. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's my plan. I'll try to get an app soon. We will. Well, you know what we'll do? Maybe we'll do a live stream. We'll try the app together, and then we'll see if people can do it themselves. Okay.
Paintbrushes react to how hard you press in real time, and it looks beautiful on the screen. This is also where that canvas mode I mentioned comes in. It props the display at a more natural drawing angle, and it does make a difference. And then for the more practical side,
Okay, I think this is actually a good feature. I have this on my Samsung Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360. I will say this, when you fold these laptops like that, they are thicker than you might imagine. You're kind of imagining something that feels like an iPad, but they're noticeably thicker when you fold like that. Kinina says, for me, it's not a question of how many pressure levels, but how well it works in the lighter pressure spectrum. I want to be able to draw faintly and not to bust into heavier pressure. Yeah. Well, the thing about that is, Kinina, is that in order to draw well that way, you almost always have to tweak the pressure curve a little bit, because EMR pens, all EMR pens, even UDMR, they are hyper-reactive at really low pressure, right? So there's an element of you need that as well. And what I'll do is maybe, I can actually add a test in there that tweaks the pressure curve and the pressure smoothing so that I might incorporate that. We'll see. Maybe that might need to be a separate test, though.
this is OneNote. Like, you start handwriting, annotating documents, quick.
So this, sorry, you can't see what I'm seeing. I'm so stupid. This is what I wanted to show you. This thing, yeah. So this guy folded it over. See?
It looks beautiful on the screen. This is also where that canvas mode I mentioned comes in. It props the display at a more natural drawing angle, and it does make a difference.
I am honestly thinking about getting the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Oh God, Samsung Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360. I like. It's large tablet though. It's like 16 inches. It's a little big for being a laptop. I like the screen when I'm looking at it as a screen. It's just weirdly bulky for a pen display. Right? I don't think they could have done any better job at it, but I am curious what something like this, which looks to be 14 inches, it might feel better actually.
And then for the more practical side, this is OneNote. Like, you start handwriting, annotating documents, quick sketches during a meeting. This is where most people are actually going to use the pen, and it works great. So the display and pen together, that's really the core of what makes this laptop special. All right, the processor.
Okay, I just wanted to show you this. So it is not, this is a UDMR pen. Okay, and let's see, Hanem says, that's why we like to emphasize that IAF and max pressure is now the key metrics of good digital pen for art instead of, yes, absolutely. Yes, pressure level, you're right. Pressure levels are artificially increased. It's a bad metric. Like, it's useful data, but you can't formulate your opinion on that. It'd be like formulating your opinion of a car's engine or a car by asking the manufacturer saying, well, we only go to 200 miles an hour, but we let you get increments of thousandths of a mile per hour versus 100. Like, why would that make a difference to me? Right? Imagine someone told you that you can drive in 10 miles an hour and 10.00001 mile an hour. Like, would that make a difference to you or not? Right? Because they can artificially make it whatever they want. I bet you I don't know, I'm not a car guy. We need Arch here, but like, I guess with the continuously variable transmission, they can just create any infinite amounts of speeds, right? I don't even know. I actually don't even know. Well, I guess with the gears can just do anything, right? Okay. What's next? Okay, we got to talk about the pen. There's a pen involved. Okay. So this is another video. It's called the Yoga Pen. The Yoga Pen. So this is a video we want to watch. We do want to watch this. Okay, give me a second.
Hi guys.
Okay, I'm going to turn on the subtitles because I think it might be difficult for you to I don't know why my subtitles are in German. So let me fix that. I'm not such a good German speaker that was deliberate. I don't know why I did this. So, now I know why. Okay. My subtitles were set to Afrikaans for a strange reason, which was deliberate. That was my... Let's see. We want English, United States. Okay. Because it's hard to hear them, actually. Okay. So let us get left. Here we go. So this is, again, Lenovo Yoga Pen. Let's see what they say about the pen. There's some confusing things about this, but overall, I just want to salute them for doing this, right? Nice to see an engineer talk about the pen. Lumiard, for monitors that the hidden important spec that doesn't get mentioned is often minimum price. Oh, I had not even thought about that. I'm sure most people who manage to make a living from design just want the pen to work. I think, as you mentioned, from 2K onwards, nothing makes sense anymore. I will say, the only thing I'd say, add to that, Jay, I think you're totally right. I would just say, kind of like how Lumiart said the phrase, there's some hidden specs that we need people to know about because they don't realize that's helping them. There are things that manufacturers don't talk about which make the pen feel good. And you got to talk about that. Otherwise, it might seem random why one pen feels different or better, right? In other words, we have to develop a language of talking about these pens. Cami Luna says, what I've learned is that Lenovo uses slightly different pen tech between their laptops and Androids. Interesting. Didn't know that. And let me resize this a little bit. There we go. Okay, we can get, again, let's thank Lenovo for doing this. I wish Wacom did this. Okay, in fact, maybe I'll send an email to Wacom. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I will actually tell them. Okay, but there's some issues with this video because there's some confusing aspects to it. Lenovo uses AES on laptops, MPP on Android. Okay, I didn't know that, Ham, so they switch between. Don't many graphic designers use a mouse? I think people who are graphic designers who are doing vector stuff, like with Illustrator, tend to use a mouse. I certainly did with vector art. Okay, here we go.
Hi guys, this is Bing Qian, hardware engineer of Lenovo. Today, we will deep dive into the Yoga Pen and the drawing experience. From pen and paper to digital input, the tools we use to create
First of all,
involved.
Okay, let's just make sure. Thanks to Lenovo for doing this. I love to see the engineers talk about it, okay? Not the marketing people.
The goal has always been the same, improving efficiency. To enhance creative efficiency, a range of pen-enabled devices have tablets, stylus-supported tablets, and touchscreen laptops. So where does Yoga 2-in-1 stand in this evolution? Compared to traditional drawing tablets,
Okay, that's fantastic framing. Because that is the question, that is the exact question that addresses the world we are in, which challenges us to no end, which is, does the experience with these devices match up to a drawing tablet? In my opinion, they have not done that, except where Wacom is involved, okay? But let's see what they say, and let's see if we can make sense of what they say.
Offers a real-time on-screen experience. Compared to heavier, pro-level pen displays, it balances a real-time on-screen experience. A 2-in-1 stand in this evolution. Compared to traditional drawing tablets, it offers a real-time on-screen.
Okay, the first thing it calls out is this device gives you a real-time on-screen experience, okay?
Screen experience. Compared to heavier, pro-level pen displays.
So the way I read this statement, because he's saying it gives you a real-time experience compared to pro-level pen displays, he's talking about lag. He says heavier. I'm not sure if he means literally weight or which may be true, but or he's talking about just the heavier processing load. Don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Hanem, it is really good they did this, right? Right. It's very good they did this. Is that Pentagon 204? Sorry, I'm not understanding, Camilino. Are you? Microsoft have done nothing to improve MVP beyond 2.6. Oh, so they have evolved MPP into this? Is that what's going on, Hanem?
It balances accuracy with portability and
Okay, balances portability with accuracy with portability, and unlike tablets like the
unlike tablets like the Pad, Yoga 2-in-1 brings together the full functionality of PC and the intuitive input of a tablet all in one device. But to truly replicate the feel of pen and paper, the handwriting experience must feel natural. Strokes need to be precise. Lines need.
I will say one thing. I really actually don't like it when they say to replicate the feeling of pen and paper, because it will never feel like pen and paper, not even close. Okay. Having said that, there are parts of what you think about with pen and paper which do matter, which he talks about: precise strokes, responsive drawing, realistic pressure. Let's see.
To follow your hand, pressure must translate into expression, and the surface should offer some friction, just like real paper. Getting that right takes deep coordination across the pen, screen, firmware, and software. Let's break.
I love what he just said. Getting all these things right takes deep coordination. What did he say?
Right takes deep coordination across the pen, screen, firmware, and software.
Deep coordination across the pen, the screen, the firmware, and the software. That's totally right. A point that needs to be emphasized. Rewind back a few seconds when the engineer talks about traditional drawing type tuning to us. Really? Okay, let's take a brief tour backwards. Oh.
Compared to
Oh, I see. This is this is what model is this? It's got that blue tab at the top. It's not Intuos 4, right? It's some other consumer Intuos, right? Or did? But yeah, it is a Wacom for sure with that tab.
Compared to heavier.
Okay.
Across the pen, screen, firmware, and software. Let's break down the technology behind it, one layer at a time.
Okay. Precision and linearity.
Is the line accurate? Is it stable? These are the fundamentals of a good handwriting experience.
Positioning, actually, linearity.
This generation of Yoga pen uses AES 2.0 active.
Okay, so look, I've never been shy about saying I hate AES, but let's see what he has to say.
Electrostatic technology. We've upgraded the tip from conductive plastic to a metal core with a.
We've upgraded the tip to a metal core instead of just a plastic tip. Why? Curious. CTL 480? CTL, okay, interesting.
Elastic outer shell. This improves signal strength and stroke stability.
That's interesting. I mean, I just have to take their word for this. More stable tilt detection. I could believe it. I'd love to see. I think it's given the statement, it's plausible because of how tilt is detected. Actually, with EMR tablets, I know how tilt is detected. I don't know how AES detects tilt, but I can believe it affects things. Yes.
Especially when the pen is held at an angle.
We also added real-time tilt detection. So real-time tilt detection is common for EMR. I don't know. Did AES support tilt detection? full screen coordinate compensation. I guess he's saying as it tilts, it compensates evenly or correctly across the screen. Good. It's great to say this.
So aided real-time tilt detection and full screen coordinate compensation.
Okay, so I think this test is he's drawing these straight lines, but the pen is tilted, nothing weird happens. Okay, fair.
At the firmware level, no matter where you write on the screen.
Okay. Now he's going to say something, but let's just, before he says it, take a look at the picture. The vertical and horizontal lines are perfect. Can you see that was a fast stroke? Let's watch him draw it again.
Compensation at the firmware level, no matter where you.
That's twice as fast as my fastest testing stroke. Okay. And do we see any wobble?
On the screen.
I'm not going to say anything. I want you to tell me. Let's see. Cammy Luna says AES does tilt detection by default. How good it is, I wouldn't know. Okay, you tell me in chat. Do you detect any wobble with that roughly 45-degree line? I'll wait for chat to tell me. That was a fast stroke. And so we'll wait for people to say. Can you see it in the photo right now? If it helps, I'll make it bigger. Let's see if I can. You can see it right here, right? Right here too. I think I can see it in other places. Let me make it bigger for you. Did that help? Again, fast stroke. What about the upper left-hand corner? Do you see it? I see it right here. I see it upper left. Actually, I see it throughout the line. But definitely I see it in the corners. No doubt about that. But remember, that's the corner of the canvas, not the corner of the screen, which is interesting. Right? Like it's actually not close to the edge of the screen at all. It's like at least an inch or so, maybe 2 inches away. So I think there's more wobble than I'd like. But this is classic AES stuff. It's not that bad. But the point is that he's doing it so fast, you shouldn't see any. When you draw fast, that wobble should essentially not be there. Right? And even tablets that are bad, remember, he's drawing twice as fast as my fastest testing stroke. My fastest testing stroke is 10 centimeters in about 1 second. In 1 second, he went like 14 inches. Okay? So and he still sees wobble. At the beginning, too, it seems that slow lines. Yeah, I think slow lines are a problem. You're right. He started slower. I hope someone reviews AES 3.0 in the coming months. Hanem, is anyone releasing AES 3.0? Because I can't remember off the top of my head who might be doing that. So if you can remind me, that'd be great. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's get back to this.
The pen remains accurate and responsive. In testing, precision. Okay,
so this is good. So he switched topics from how tilt is compensated, which looks good, to
screen.
Wobble.
The pen remains accurate and responsive. In testing, precision measured at under 0.2 millimeters.
Okay, so this is confusing because again, look, he's an engineer on pens, I am not. But I think of precision and wobble as two different things. Okay? Now, this is an interesting photo. So it says yoga pen without ruler, competitor without ruler. So on the left looks accurate based on the strokes he drew. On the right, I don't know. That looks like a lot of wobble for an iPad without a ruler. With the ruler, yeah, totally agree. Let's see, Hanem says it was Lenovo laptop review you watched. Oh, okay, that was a AES 3.0. Okay, got it. Wait a second. I thought that used the. I thought the laptop came with a Wacom pen. Or was it Wacom AES? Maybe that's where I got confused. I think I thought it was Wacom UDMR.
In Fresco, for example, you can clearly see the difference when drawing selected lines. The newer pen produced cleaner, smoother strokes with no jitter.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. He's talking about one topic, but the video is showing something else. That made no sense because he's talking about drawing diagonal lines, but he's like zooming in and out of an app. So like that didn't make any sense. Wacom AES. Yeah, it's weird. I don't feel like that's accurate. I've seen that with a ruler on iPad. Well, it has to be iPad, right? It has to be iPad, Lumiere, because it literally says without ruler, iPad Pro. Literally. So this kind of defeats the purpose of saying competitor. Because it literally says the name of the device right here.
2 millimeters. In Fresco, for example, you can clearly see the difference when drawing selected lines. The newer pen produced cleaner, smoother strokes with no jitter. Real drawing isn't always vertical. Artists tilt their pens for shading, for pressure control, for nuance. The Yoga pen sports up to plus or minus 60 degrees of tilt recognition, combined with firmware correction. This allows for accurate interpretation of angle, direction, and stroke-wise. You can tilt the pen to lay down a bold pencil stroke, replicating real shading techniques with conscious control.
Yeah, I think this is nothing unusual about this. It doesn't strike me as anything odd.
From a soft sketch to a bold line, pressure matters. The Yoga pen sports 4096 level.
4096, that's totally fine. Like, if he'd even said 2000, I would have been fine. I have no complaints about this.
Of pressure sensitivity and can detect up to 500 gram force.
Whoa, that was cool. They actually measured the. They actually talk about the maximum pressure. That's fantastic. Let's see. Lumiere says no way. My 2020 iPad is not bad at all with diagonal. Yeah. I'll test again. I'm really curious. It didn't match my, his photo does not match what I
Daily
found.
writing and sketching typically between 30 and 140 gram. We've fine-tuned the pressure curve 500 gram force. In daily writing and sketching, typically between 30 and 140 gram. We've fine-tuned the pressure curve to deliver up to 3,000 levels of.
Okay, this gets confusing because you see my charts all the time. But let's take a look at his actual words, right?
Force. In daily writing
and sketching,
typically between 30 and 140 gram. We've fine-tuned the pressure curve to deliver up.
We fine-tuned the pressure curve to deliver 3,000 levels. The statement is. We got to think about what is being said here, okay? The pen has 4,000 pressure levels. Between 30 gram, here's how I interpret it. Between 30 gram force and 140 gram force, which is typical handwriting, they have tuned the pressure curve so that 3,000 levels are in that zone. I believe the statement. The graph is just confusing given what we've done. Let's try. I think this graph is a pressure curve. Okay. Now, looks to be, it says log, the graph is not a log graph. The curve is a log graph. But it looks like, here's how I read this. This part here on the lower left that looks almost flat, it's not. It's just very slightly rising. Can you see it? These dots are just very slightly rising. What that says to me is that between 0 and 15 gram force, they are toning down the, pens and EMR pens at least. I don't know about AES. They're highly sensitive. So that makes sense. It's not zeroing it out. But starting at 15 gram force, the curve starts moving up and it's accelerating up a little bit and keeling over. Now that to me is weird. I can't say it's fully weird, but because I don't know the actual pressure response of the pen. This is the curve. This curve is making the pen more sensitive, more reactive. Not more sensitive. It's making it react more to pressure changes. I'm not sure, JC, if I'd call it lying. I think it's more like they are doing something, but we're not sure how to interpret the impact. And the way they talk about it is just very different from the way we talk about things. But it's fascinating to see that what they're emphasizing, which is we have changed the curve to give you 3,000 pressure levels within your typical handwriting pressure. That's interesting. Does it matter? I don't know. But we need testing for that. But it's interesting what he says. But the curve surprises me because I'm not sure this is even having that much impact, to be totally honest. But we'll see. But remember, this pen has a maximum 500 gram force.
Nuance in that range. The system can detect changes as small as 0.3 gram force.
Okay. This system detects changes as small as 0.3 gram force. Does this number make sense? Here's what I hear. Here's how I translate it, right? The pen can detect changes as the smallest unit of force it can detect, and it's a change, is 0.3 gram force. Okay. The maximum physical pressure of the pen is 500 gram force, which is great, by the way. That's actually in my excellent range. So here's the question. If that's the smallest unit it can detect, how many different levels are there? Since each level is as small as 0.3 gram force. Well, let's do a little bit of math here. Give me a second. Let's find Chrome. And let's just do the math. Where did Chrome? Sorry, let me add a new Chrome window. And I'm going to do it over here, and then I'll move it over. So if you have 500 gram force divided by 0.3, right? You get this. 500 gram force divided by 0.3 gram force is 1,666.666, blah, blah, blah. Do you see why I'm confused? If you're saying you can only detect the smallest unit of change you can detect is 0.3, then how do you square these numbers? Like, how do you put them together? No, again, I'm not saying they've done something wrong. I'm just saying, do you understand? It can be that I'm doing something wrong, but it's hard I have to reconcile the numbers. The math is not mathing, right? Because if let's put it this way, if you have 500 gram force and you tell me you have 4,096 pressure levels, that means, so 500 is gram force, that means each pressure level should be, if they're evenly distributed, should be 0.1 2 gram force, not 0.3. So something's not adding up here. Something's not adding up here. Right? Again, I don't mean to say anything's wrong with the device. I'm just saying we have to just take their numbers and ask them, what does this mean? Why did you say this? Because when I first saw this, I actually thought he was talking about the IAF. But he's not talking about the IAF. He's talking about this is what he's saying, the smallest change it can measure. So that's confusing then. Would you admit it's confusing?
This means more control, smoother transitions, and natural stroke variation. whether you are outlining, inking, or painting. Latency determines how connected the pen feels.
Okay, finally, someone's talking about latency. Again, it is not, he's not saying IEF, so I want to be clear, he's not saying that. We don't know what the IEF is. They've never talked about it in this video, not as of yet at least.
The moment you put pen to screen, the line should follow instantly. To reduce latency, we optimize the system in 3 key areas. Number 1, a higher signal to noise retail touch IC for cleaner.
Okay, SNR means signal to noise, right? High signal to noise touch IC. So the signal is cleaner and stronger getting to the digitizer. Okay, cool. That I can understand. The reason why I would say this is important is, remember, I know EMR, I don't know AES. If signals are noisy, you have to smooth out the signal to get a better signal. Smoothing out the signal adds lag, latency. So I can understand why this would improve lag.
Input. Number 2, reduce filtering for faster coordinate computation. Number 3,
filtering, I guess it's another kind of smoothing, and they're doing less of it. So, okay, I can understand why that would reduce it.
Priority logic that enables a report rate of up to 315.
Okay, there's a couple of things going on here. Just having a higher report rate will definitely give you, even though technically it doesn't mean things have less latency, it in a sense it does decrease the lag. Okay, it reduces the time. Yeah, it does decrease the latency. Sorry, I didn't know what he meant by this statement.
Number 3, pen priority logic that enables.
Pen priority logic, like what is prioritized where in the stack? I'm curious what he's referring to.
A report rate of up to 315 Hz. As a result, the pen keeps up even during fast writing or sketching.
I will say, if you just look at him doing this, then it does look like there's very little lag. That's fair, right? I think that is fair.
Whether you are jotting down notes or capturing ideas as they come, your strokes appear exactly when and where they should, without lag or.
I like this video. I like what he's doing, what's happening here. I will say it's not a super fast stroke, but in any normal pen display, you will see, I think, more pointer lag than this.
Capturing ideas as they come, your strokes appear exactly when and where they should.
Does everyone agree with me? Like, there's a little bit of lag. You can clearly see, you can just clearly see the cursor is not directly at the tip of the pen, but I think this is less lag than I'd see on a Cintiq or something. Okay, so let's be honest that this looks good, right?
Should, without lag or hesitation. Writing on glass often feels too slick. It lacks the tactile feedback.
Yawning.
We associate with pen and paper. To address this, we choose a high-friction rubber material for the.
By the way, there's that metal in the nib, right? Right, Mir, you agree? Right? It does look like there's less lag. Let's give credit here.
Pen tip, increasing surface grip and resistance. The result is a writing experience that feels more grounded and intentional, closer to what you expect from traditional paper. In conclusion, going from it works to it feels right means refining every detail with improvements.
I love that statement. Going from it works to it feels right. I love that. That's fantastic.
Across 5 core areas: precision, tilt recognition, pressure, sensitivity, latency, and tactile friction. The Yoga 2-in-1 brings digital handwriting closer.
I want to try this now. I have to honestly admit, I was skeptical going into the video because I've seen so many videos talking about tablets and pens, but this has got me like, oh, I want to try this. I really want to try this.
Feel. More importantly, it's not just a writing tool. It's a full-featured PC that supports creativity, productivity, and entertainment. If you are looking for a device that supports the way you think, create, and work, the Yoga 2-in-1 is ready for it.
What do you think? Our chat, are you excited for? I mean, even if you're not planning on getting it, do you think this? I mean, just based on what you've said, we've seen in this video, is this a compelling pen experience? I'm very curious. JC says, but does the screen have those 350 hertz or something? I don't think it's a screen. I think it's how many reports per second from the pen. Yeah, I think it's just the pen and how many points per second it's getting from the pen. Rubber doesn't help when there's oil from hand on the screen. Yeah, I mean the rubber and the oil are going to fight, right? It is better than expected for drawing. So yeah, okay. So Mir, you think it's a kind of interesting product? Okay, so what is this? Sorry, he mentioned at least one product. It was the, what did he call it? Yoga 7 2-in-1. And then some other one was shown a second earlier. Yoga 9i 214-inch. What was the difference? They're both 14-inch. Aura edition 9i and Yoga 7. Let's try to see Yoga 9i. Yoga 9i versus Yoga 7. What the heck? Yoga 9i is a premium flagship 2-in-1 superior OLED display, better sound, more refined build. Yoga 7i offers similar 2-in-1 functionality with solid performance. Oh, interesting. Let's take a look at the price, okay? Yoga 7i. What do we got here? Hainam says, I'm excited for anything that adds more decent options for digital drawing. Hi, Aquaric. Thanks for joining us again. Oh, we still have more to go. We haven't even done the Magma thing yet. Also, the pressure curve and the friction matter to me the most. I have to be honest, I'm tempted by this. I need another tablet, like I need another hand. But this is actually interesting to me. And it's not that expensive. Let's see what we get with it. It's $1,400, so not cheap. Tech specs. Up to 32. Okay, let's view the models. Let's take a look. Let's price one out. Actually, not bad for what it is. $1,450 for 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD. That's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. It's tempting. But on the other hand, I was trying to think of a body part and I wasn't sure what to use. Like I need another foot. There's very little information on the Yoga Pen Gen 2 with Wacom AES, even on the Chinese website. All we know is that the AK... Okay, wait a second. Which pen was this then? Maybe I got confused. Are we talking about multiple... Isn't this the Yoga Pen Gen 2? Isn't that what this guy was talking about? Keyboard camera. Let's take a look. Honestly, I am tempted. Yeah, okay, hang on. Yoga 7i. Yoga 7i review. Let's take a look here. It's a 2-in-1. I don't know. So many YouTube review channels. I'm like, I don't know who to trust. There's only a couple of people. Oh, this one. This. No, wait a second. Oh, this is. This is something 2 years ago. That's not what I want. I want some 7i. Let's just say 2026. Yeah, I'm getting confused which one I'm looking at here. Okay, maybe this is it. Okay, it's just getting confused. I'm getting confused because there's like the Aura edition, which I guess that's for people who want to do some Aura farming. I don't know. Can you ever trust a site like Best Laptop Deals? I just don't. I feel like this can't possibly be a trustworthy site. Okay, this looks. Is this it? The naming problem strikes again. I think at the moment only Yoga 7a has it. Interesting. What about that Yoga 9? Let's just take a look at what it was. Yoga 9i. It's only 14 inches also. AI fueled. I don't want AI fuel. Okay. I'm going to put my music back on. I'm tempted. Definitely more expensive. I'm tempted. I'm definitely tempted. Actually, let me look at the Yoga 7 specs again. Graphics card. Yoga Slim 7i. Yoga Slim 7i Aura specs. Tech specs. I'm looking for the ports actually. 2 Thunderbolt ports, 1 USB-A, HDMI 2.1. Not bad. It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad at all. Yoga 7a. Oh yeah, okay. Good idea. Yoga 7a 2-in-1. The heck is this one? This is the one with the other pen. Okay. There's a 16-inch. It's $1,000. Let's take a look. The models. This is the new arrival. Okay, let's look at the specs on the previous page here. Hello, specs. Oh, so many surveys and things they want. Stop it. Stop it. Oh. Tech specs. Here we go. Up to 24 gigabytes, so not 32. Doesn't have a Thunderbolt port. Pen, Yoga Pen Gen 2. Let's find out about this Yoga Pen Gen 2. I don't know, interesting. I wish Lenovo still use EMR, yeah. But Hanem, I think the 7i is probably the better deal. You just get more stuff in it, honestly. I know it's more expensive, but I think it's probably going to be working out for people who want to use it with a pen display because it's got Thunderbolt port, etc. Now, I'm really curious about that Yoga, the Puck, because that is probably of the laptop and the Puck. I think I would probably like the Puck as a purchase, assuming the Puck is not as expensive as the laptops, which I'm hoping it is not. If the Puck can be $800, I think it'd be an amazing winner. An amazing winner. But we'll see. It's supposed to be releasing in June. Okay, let me take a look at my show notes. Okay, let me take a quick bio break, then we'll come back and we're gonna try Adobe something. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll be right back. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I took a little bit longer than I intended. I got a little snack from the refrigerator. Okay, what do we want to do? We want to try Adobe Turntable. We're going to try drawing something. And there's another feature to help clean up line art. We might try that in Illustrator. But first, I got to install Adobe. So while I'm doing that, we can chat about whatever. I have Lightroom installed, so I wonder if I have Illustrator installed. Adobe Illustrator. Okay, I probably do not. So let's try Creative. Adobe. Oh, I may have to install. Okay, it looks like I have to actually install stuff now. Where's my sound effects? There we go. Adobe Creative Cloud. I have to admit, I think I mentioned this in a previous stream, I really don't know if I'm getting a lot of value out of Adobe right now. Basically, I just used the remove feature to edit in Photoshop to edit photos, and Lightroom to do a little bit of like photo editing. But I don't know if I really don't need a Lightroom for the kind of editing I do. Okay, desktop apps. Okay, I don't have Creative Cloud installed, so I'm going to install that. Let's take a look. AI fueled is a reminder that disabling all that is the first thing you should do. Oh yeah, you're talking about aura farming. Hey, I think it's important to keep up with how people talk. Canina, yeah, I do use Affinity occasionally. I do. I want to increase the amount I use Infinity. If I can get a better, actually we'll try it in the stream, why not? I'll put it in my show notes. Try Affinity. Because if it can solve a couple of problems for me, then I'm like, I don't need Photoshop. I might still keep Photoshop because sometimes I need to show you things. But I'm not, listen, I'm paying almost $800 a year for the full Creative Cloud suite. I'm not getting that much value out of it, right? I'm just not. And I have better things to do with $700, $800 a year. Like do AI. Like I have a lot of AI I can do with that money. Okay. Try Affinity. Where's this Photoshop? Did I download it already? Creative Cloud installer. Sorry, I know you can't. It always like weird when I'm doing something like installing software. It's so boring to show it on screen. Yeah, I want to open it. Yeah. Every time I paid for full Adobe Suite, I regretted it. I mean, look, right now is the only chance they have to create value. Because they're not doing anything interesting for me right now. But I think they can. I literally don't know what I just typed in. I somehow logged in, but like, I don't even think I typed in the right password. Oh no, I know, sorry. There's a different issue with skip question. It's installing Creative Cloud. I only ever needed Illustrator and Affinity, and until Affinity came along, I used CSP instead of Photoshop. Yeah. Actually, I do some light photo editing in CSP, because it's just so simple. Later, you can tell us how canceling Adobe went. Now, I'm sure they improved the process. By the way, I've been on record about this. I don't entirely think they are totally wrong in their approach. I mean, they did some bad things in the approach, but like I understand their reasoning on why there's a fee for cancellation. I get it. I get it. There is like, there are non-evil reasons for it. The way they talk about it is bad. The dark patterns are awful. Oh, I mentioned, for those of you who don't know, Brad Colbo does a weekly stream Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. his time, so noon Pacific for me. Check out his stream. I joined about 2 weeks ago. He had a really good one yesterday on Blender. But as always with streams, you start out with one topic and like the audience takes it where they want to go. Okay, Creative Cloud. Yeah, they're not upfront about it, and you got to be careful when you're a big company about the way you treat people, because small things you can do can be perceived in weird ways, right? It's like Microsoft right now, for example, and I work for Microsoft and I love Microsoft. Remember that. Windows and a bunch of their apps, they keep asking you questions. Do you want to take the survey? Would you rate this a star? Would you give a star rating? Do you want to turn this on? And they're just like blasting you with irritation. And some of those irritations are like, would you like to try this feature, this app? And it's like almost like an ad. And you can understand they want you to do, something that could help you, like backing up your folders in OneDrive, but like, at a certain point, it becomes like you don't feel good about the experience, right? And that's the thing where the line is, you have to be careful. Okay, I am signed in. Now I want to install. I'm sorry for the delay, my friends. What do I want? I want, what's that? Illustrator. And I'll just go ahead and add Photoshop. Apps. Install Photoshop. Install Illustrator. And I'll also just install the betas. Not that any of us are betas here. We're all alphas here, right? I don't want Premiere. Shoot. I accidentally clicked Premiere. Audition, I don't know who uses that. Okay, it's installing. Okay, so there was a feature called Turntable. Adobe Illustrator. There's two features I want to talk about. One's Turntable, and the other one's like, you can take a sketch and make it into like something better. Illustrator. Turntable? Is it called Turntable? It is called a generative AI tool, though I think that is, look, Object Generative Turntable. This enables users to create front, side, rear views or adjust tilt from a single 2D object. Okay. So I gotta load some 2D artwork, group it, select it, choose Turntable. Okay, so we will try this, okay? We're gonna draw something and we're gonna see. Okay, is Illustrator installed yet? You see a lot of wobble in that device? Where is the app? Is Illustrator installed? Illustrator is installed. Okay, I'm gonna plug in a Wacom. It is plugged in. I have my pen. Let me get my tablet here. Kind of easier streaming for Mac. Yeah, I would do that. Okay. Let's here. I'll turn on my screen so you can see it. Left face. Okay. Where is Illustrator now? I'm clicking on it. Oh, it opened up on a different monitor. Sure, I'll sign out of a device. Sign out. Yeah, let me just show you what it's going on here. I have other devices all named after French cities, signing out of one of them. And now I'm signed on this device. At least they make it easy to switch devices. That is nice. Okay, Illustrator. Illustrator. Try it now. Let's try turntable. Super curious about this. Okay. So, click turntable. So this is their demo one, right? We're going to see if this is for real. So, yeah, I think I did this one time on stream. It is cool. Okay, it is cool. Let's not lie. That is cool. But they handpicked it. Let's put it up to a real challenge. Okay? Let's go create a new file. Web large. Okay, sure. Create. And let's just create. Now, I'm not good at drawing with this thing. Okay, let's be clear. So I may need your help with this one. You know what I'm going to draw. Everyone knows what I draw, right? Sorry. Let me what do I want to draw? I want to draw just a simple figure. Okay. And how do you erase things in Illustrator? Is there a vector eraser? I sound totally stupid, don't I? There is that. Okay, how do I... you know what I want? I want an erased intersection. Everyone knows what I'm getting at. How do you erase the intersection? Let me use a little bit of web knowledge to this. Illustrator erase to intersection. I'm trying to continue, like, so if there's one line going this way and I have one line going this way, I want to erase this line all the way until it hits the other line. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, if I was trying to delete this blue segment, just the blue segment. So just a part of it. I guess I could use, how about command? I don't even know. Command? No. I sound so totally dumb, don't I? Shape builder? Someone said I should try shape builder. I just want to erase these little straggly lines here. That's all I want. These little things, these little tails. And I just don't know how to do that. Remove parts of... Let me search for shape builder. Which I used a long time ago. I really prefer the way Clip Studio does this, by the way. Okay, so now what? How does Shape Builder work here? You just, yeah, but if I delete the point, I also hate zooming in this thing, by the way. I guess I'm gonna have to just node. I'm just gonna be a node editor today, huh? I'm just gonna have to do it like this. Hello. Sorry. James Chase Fresco has a button for that. Everyone knows what I'm trying to do, right? I mean, everyone's totally clear on this topic. I just don't know how to do it. I just have to as if I'm some kind of barbarian, I have to manually edit these things. There's got to be a simpler way of doing this, folks. There's got to be a simpler way. Can this thing even be filled with green? Okay, at least that works. Everyone knows what I'm going to be drawing. There's no doubt about it. Can't every app just work like the apps I have familiarity with? Why do I have to learn anything? Why do I have to struggle? Why am I not zooming in? Oh, there we go. I was pressing the wrong button to zoom. I really should set up my toolbox. Okay, so there we go. That's part one. Let's draw another shape because I'm not smart enough to do this. I'm going to draw it more carefully, I guess. Okay, that joined it. That at least simplifies some of my life. Okay. Okay. What? That's not what I wanted. Okay, that's good enough. Node editing. I just want my vector eraser like in... Sorry, the lips on a Apu frog do not actually work that way. They work like they go out from the mouth a bit. Okay? Just in case people were doubtful. I've researched this. I'm going to draw another line. I'm going to deselect that. Draw another line. I feel so stupid. I'm drawing with the mouse, by the way. This is not bad. Yeah, the vector relation CSP is like, it just saves so much time. Okay. So this is not a complex, and the reason I'm drawing this is that you got to see, like, this is not intended to be hard. This isn't intended to be like, oh, some fancy thing here. It's just a simple... And I'm going to do one more little... I'm going to draw the little eyelights. Okay? The little, I'm going to call them catch lights in the frog's face. This is not a good frog. I'm going to apologize for all frog artists out there. Okay, so I'm going to draw here. Oh, I can't see the... Of course, you can't see a black stroke on a black... Okay, but at least that kind of worked. Another Illustrator weirdness. There's no indication... Whoops. You guys are laughing at me. I know you're laughing at me. Somebody who probably knows Illustrator is absolutely just like, oh, this guy doesn't know anything about anything. I guess I could spend the time to learn. Kenina says she's been using Affinity. The only reason I know this thing can connect is the shape of the cursor changes to like a donut. And that tells me, okay, that there it's connectable. Oops. There we go. Okay. So we got a bunch of shapes, right? And we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to keep these shapes. We're not going to make it any more complicated than it is. It looks like a duck more than anything else instead of a frog, but everyone gets the idea, okay? Can this thing actually rotate? This picture, right? We all have been in this situation. We have to draw something like this. We'd need the characters to just look, because for variety or the character is moving or situationally something needs their attention, they just need to be looking in a different direction. Okay? The blob brush. Can you keep that? Let me try that after this, and then I'm curious, because I've never used it. I didn't know it existed. Okay. So I'm going to group it. Okay, now we're going to try, the turntable disappeared. Yeah, no, I'm just going to click turntable. Oh, it requires premium credits. Sure, whatever. Okay, what's going to happen? How bad is this going to be? This is, again, something crudely drawn. Not a lot of detail in this face. What will happen? He is very dynamic, Lumiart. What will happen? Because this is not complicated, but AI can mess up on things that are simple too. So we shouldn't trivialize this. All I want is to be able to, I don't need to rotate 180 or anything. I just need to get slight changes. Will this help me? I do a lot of vector art in Clip Studio Paint. Would I be willing to switch into Illustrator if it solved a certain problem for me? Maybe. Even if it didn't solve the problem, but just helped me reposition one of my frogs a little bit. Okay, here we go. What's going to happen? Okay, I'm just going to say right now, I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed, okay? Was it perfect? No, but I think you would all have to agree with me. This is about as magical as you can possibly expect something to be. Would you agree with me? I drew this, I think. And then look at this. I think you would agree that's pretty darn magical. Okay? Oops. Now what's this do? Oh my God! I didn't know it did that. Little bit of a... Okay, this is useful for me. Okay, I'm just going to say it. That's very... Oops, I tilted it a little. That's from the bottom, okay. Do you know how much time this would save me? I'm impressed. Look, even if I have to retrace the figure, this has saved me time. You understand? Even if I have to take this into Clip Studio and retrace it to get the lines perfect, doing this has saved me time. Okay? And again, my claim is this. Some of you will say, I know some of you object to generative AI because you don't think it's ethical how the models are trained. That's fair. Some of you definitely, I think we all don't like it when someone says, oh, just draw an image in this style. Okay? Keninya, we'll check in just a second, okay? We'll check in just a second. But for me, if I am the source of the original picture and I use AI to transform it, I don't feel so bad about it because I am the source of the data. Not the model, but I drew this frog-duck hybrid and I don't feel bad about the tool helping me with this. The mouth is very linear. Maybe I want it to curve a bit more, but starting this template would be much easier for me to deal with. You know, what was that character everyone was drawing like this? You know what I'm talking about? It's like an elf character. She was looking like someone drew her looking up, like her chin, and and it's like someone drew it really badly. Maybe they drew it deliberately. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Some elf character. Because someone's like, how do you tilt the head up? And like, it just made it. But the point, this kind of reminds me of that thing that was going on. Because you wouldn't know. Frieren? I think, I don't know what Frieren means. Is that elf's name? I sound like I don't know popular culture. Frieren? I'm pronouncing it as if it's German. Frieren Chin. Yeah, this thing. Yes. And someone drew this, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, but they're like, how do you draw her face? And they drew this, and then everyone's drawing her damn chin. Like this, I think looks beautiful, right? Fits the character. Probably either one of these fit it. But it is challenging, right? Your brain may not, even if you drew the original image, you may like struggle with like, what's the right aesthetic way of doing this? Right? Let's see, Lumiart says, to be honest, the worst problem right now is that people are not upfront about using AI. Yeah. But I would say, if I drew something, actually, you know what? Now that we're saying this, is this the character's name? Frieren? I hope it's her name. Okay, it is her name. No, not Frieren name. I want an image. Okay, let's Google it again. Hang on. You'll see why. Well, sorry, I don't have a vector. So, okay, hang on. Frieren face vector. Okay, we'll see what happens here. You know what I'm going to do. Oh. Can Illustrator trace something? I don't. Why is it doing visual matches? I don't want visual matches. I want an actual vector file of this elf's face. Not interested. Frieren face vector. SVG. That's all I want. I don't need the entire body. Kanina said, I'm especially not okay with commercialized AI art, but I don't care as much as when it's for personal non-monetized use. Especially derived. Yeah, if you're the source of the style and you're the source of the original artwork, then like, I find it to be like everyone's going to be adopting that. Okay? Now, admittedly, you should learn some skills. You should learn anatomy, you should learn color, you should learn all sorts of things. So it makes more sense if it's taking away drudgery from you that you know how to do, as opposed to, you don't have to do, like in your own head, you don't know how to rotate a head, rotate an object, and you rely on that skill from the AI. That's just going to burn you, right? I mean, I can understand you're not developing a skill there. Many large studios they're forcing their employees to use AI, but prohibit them from saying, oh, interesting. Recent list was leaked to studios that use it and haven't disclosed. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I think Illustrator, we're going to try another experiment. Illustrator, trace. Is it trace? Fuck, not terrace. Trace image to vector. I think they have a new feature. Image, no.
In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to turn this photograph into a vector graphic using Adobe Illustrator. So I've opened Adobe Illustrator and I'm going to start a new file. We'll just do letter for now. Click create. I'm going to my Finder window and I'm going to find the photo of my cute dog. I found this photo from unsplash.com.
No, I don't want this. I want to draw something. Illustrator sketch to vector. I want to draw a sketch. That's what I want. Image tray. Okay. Sketch to vector. Oh, it is called sketch to vector. Open your sketch in Illustrator, select it. Image trace, open image trace panel. Okay, sure, we'll try that. Okay, let's try it. I need an app that I can draw with, first of all. Let's just do clip. I have paint here. Let's try it out. Okay, let me just check my phone real quick. Okay. Let's do a little bit of... Okay. So this, we're going to combine this with the... what was I going to say? We're going to combine this with the turntable. But I'm going to sketch out an apu, a frog. And then I'm going to see, and I'm just going to sketch it. I'm not going to draw it perfectly with the pencil tool. And then it's going to see how well it can save me time taking a sketch to a vector, and if we consider that cheating. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I just noticed my Wacom is not mapped correctly, so give me a second. It's mapped to my screens in a weird way, so I'm going to turn on. I'm going to map it so it's more accurate for me. Wacom center. Mapping. Yeah, my strokes were distorted. I noticed that. Or not distorted, but they were limited. Select one display. I want the left one. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, okay, apply. There we go. Okay, now it's on one thing. Whew, that feels much better. Okay, let's draw something. Well, a frog, of course. And I'm going to draw it on white paper since I think it needs that. Or it would probably help to have white paper. And let's sketch something out. Let's just try it on this layer. Yeah, okay, this is good. So what would an apu look like? And again, I'm going to sketch it out. So we don't want to make it too easy for the thing. Right? We want to make a... So we're going to have a little bit of messy lines. We'll do a little bit of erasing. And I forgot how their faces look exactly. I think it's... There's a thing here, and then... I think their eyes do this, and I think their eyes do this. And they have kind of a slightly downward look. I apologize for the apu purists in the audience. Lips look a little big for an apu. Try to do it more accurate. I believe there's like 2 bumps here, right? And there's a line here, I think, and one like here. Okay. So the point here is to be sketchy, not to be, you know, we don't want it to look like it's really been, we want lines that are a little not confident. We want lines that have this little mistake, like they go a little bit beyond. Some don't go beyond. Let's see if it makes good judgments. Okay. We want to trace over the same line multiple times to see what it's going to do. Okay. I'm actually, maybe I drew this. I'm not unhappy with this. I want to erase a little bit because this is a thing you do when you sketch, you erase, right? We'll try to make obvious erasing so that we'll leave a little bit there to confuse the AI. But we don't want, you know, we do want to do a little, we want to help it too. But we don't want to make it like too easy. Right? Typical, oops, we don't want to do that for sure. Right? Sometimes I sketch with little strokes. That could be confusing to an AI. Let me get rid of this little thing here. Right? Okay, so that's where we're at. Not a perfect frog, but okay. I do draw these frogs a lot. This is kind of a hybrid between an Apu and a Pepe. Okay, so let me just save this in case I need to regenerate it. Save as Apu. Oops, let me type in 2026-05-07 Apu. Okay. And let's export this thing as a PNG to documents. Great. Okay. And give me a second. Let me open up Finder to make sure I have put it in the right place. Yeah, it is there, but I don't see the exported thing. Let me try exporting it again. Export. What? Oh, I see it. Sorry, another dialog appeared. I didn't click yes to. Okay, it is saved. It is saved. So here's the actual exported image. I see. Correct. Okay, great. Now, let's go back to Illustrator. So I was pretty happy with this. Let's take just black and white line art. New. Web large. And I'm going to try drag in the PNG. Right? I don't know if that... Okay, and it just said image trace is actually... It's actually in the... It's actually in the context sense. Now, it's a very big image, so I'm going to shrink it down to fit the document. Image... Let me zoom in. And I click on image trace. Oh, yeah, they're very different. I'll prove that to you in just a minute. Okay. Yeah, yes, I do want to proceed. Saying it's a large image. I don't know why it perceives it as a large image. That was a really bad job it did. Okay, that was not good. And did not do a good job of it at all. So let's see if we can help it. Let's try this image trace. Black, let's try sketched art, okay? Because you have options of what it is. That did a really bad job too. Okay, let's try shade. I expected better, to be quite honest. I don't think it's going to do a good job of this. Okay, what happened here? So what do I do with this? Did it trace it? It did. I didn't want this. This is exactly what I was afraid of. It traced it like an image, which I guess that's what it wanted. That's what I told it to do, but I wanted line art. Let's see. Kanina says, I went ahead and downloaded the Magma beta. It crashed on me twice in the first minute. Also has ads unless you pay a sub, so no thanks. Sorry to hear that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Clipsio Paint, and I'm going to draw this in heavy lines, okay? Because obviously, I'm going to draw it on a new layer. And I'm just going to, I was about to draw it with, so give me a second. We'll just redraw this. Actually, I'm gonna, believe it or not, I'm going to draw it with a, no, sorry. I was going to draw it in a vector layer. I just thought that's stupid. Okay, so I was going to redraw this so that's totally obvious. I won't keep it perfect, okay? I will not keep it perfect. Still going to make lots of mistakes. Nothing about it is particularly smooth. That's not right. I guess I do draw these frogs a lot. I didn't realize I had such good memory of how to do this. A little bit angrier looking than I intended. I'm going to move this guy down. Actually, both of these down a little bit. Hopefully it won't, it'll make it a bit easier to trace. Okay, let's save this and let's export again. Save. That's right, save it. Okay, I think this. Yes, Kanina, that's exactly right. I'm seeing if it works on, well, I'm testing two features. First, the image tracing, because I heard there's some improvements to it, though I'm not seeing it. And the second thing we might try the beta of Illustrator. But right now I'm not super impressed. And then we're gonna use that for tracing, because we just don't know how good this really is. Did I save it? I don't know if I did. Hang on. Oh, I did not save it somehow. Let's try this again. Export. Oh, my fault, my fault. It'll be there in a second. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna put the Apu. Okay. And again, I'm gonna shrink it down because it's actually much bigger than the page. Okay. So there we go. Now there's no excuse for image trace not to do a great job, is there? So I'm gonna actually click image trace here because there are options. This is line art. Sure, go ahead, image trace. Awful. Awful. Are you kidding me? That was awful. Let's undo that. There are some options for image trace here. Mode black and white. Let's take down the threshold maybe. Let's do a preview. Okay, let's do a... I don't know what just happened there. Turn off the preview. Well, what happened? Did it trace it or not? It looks like it did actually trace it. Actually, it did a good job tracing it. Okay, now that it's traced, what do I do with it? Generate vectors. Sorry, how do I take it? It did trace this, it looks like. You see how crisp it is, okay? Now the question is, how do I get this into vectors? It was confusing that it did it. It didn't look like it. Here's the original, just to show you. Actually, which one is, no, sorry, I cloned it, my mistake. One of these is the original. I think this one behind is. Or this one in front is, I don't know. They're both really, am I crazy? That's insanely, that must be both of these are vectors. There's no doubt about that. Generate vectors. How do I, oh boy, okay. I don't understand. Oops. I'm not sure, JC, what's going on here. Let me just see if I can. do it directly from this menu, object. I just saw it a second ago. I just literally saw this option a second ago for turntable. Perspective, transform. I don't understand. Generative, oh fuck. Turntable. Okay, somehow, let's see if this works. Will it understand the logic of this? You don't think it worked? But I zoomed in and it seemed like it didn't lose any pixels. It didn't become pixelated. Let's try this, because okay. Okay, not perfect, but come on. And even if image trace didn't work, let me ask you a question. Do you think this result is useful? Kinda, yeah, it is. Is it distorted? Yeah. Is it perfect? Not at all. But I started here. Let's get back here. And if I had to tweak I've done this before manually. And yes, some lines are lost, but I could fix this up. Right? The animation is nice. The animation is nice. Right? And let's do this thing. Oops, it got a little too skewed here. Let's try another one here. How do I... Oh, interesting. It did it like a... What do you call this? It wasn't a true rotation, it was a skew. But this is good. This is a thing you need to do. Parts of it are useful. This is actually like, it didn't complete the head, but this is so useful for me, right? Yeah, I mean, this to me is revolutionary. It will save me a bunch of time, right? What I do with this is, if I have a frog, I create what do you call it when you have one character and you have like, they're rotated, it's like a sheet, but it's very regular in the rotations, right? So you see the character references from like all the positions. That's what I do. That's what I would do here. I'm impressed. I think this is super impressive. Let me get back to turntable again. The UI is confusing. But somehow it's now up here. And I wish I could convert. I wish there was a way of really going. What's the right word here? The way it rotates up and down is not what I expected, but it's good. Right? Character. Look at that. How much time would that take you? It even got the eyes bulging out correctly. Right? It doesn't fully understand how to deal with the back of heads, but of course, you don't know how big his head is, and he's a weird looking frog. I mean, like, you wouldn't know. But like, this is tremendous, I think. Turnarounds. It's called turnarounds. I didn't know that. But would this have say? I think this would. Does it struggle more with line art instead of filled in color art? That's a good question. I'm impressed that it works with line art, though. Seriously, if there was, I don't use Illustrator, but if there was ever a reason to use Illustrator, this is a reason for me to use Illustrator. Because this would save me a bunch of time. I wish it didn't skew as strongly every time. Whoa, what the hell was that? I don't know. Oops, let's get back here to... Whoops, sorry. I wish I could not have it skewed quite as high. when it rotates up and down. Maybe there's some settings for this. Show properties panel. Oh, here's the turntable options here. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, you only get 0, 30, and negative 30 and 30. I was hoping for like 15 or custom value. Let me try custom value. Let me try 15. Oh, you can't type in any rotation value. You have to pick. Yeah, that was weird, right, JC? I hadn't even thought about it until you wrote that. It's like it considered the canvas as an actual thing. I think this is great. This will absolutely save me time. This will help me be more creative. Now, someone can say, hey, look, 7 pence, you didn't really draw this. And I would probably say, yeah, I would have a lot of assistance. This definitely is. You'd have to, I think, still disclose that you used AI, to be fair. To be fair. Unless it was like, this was just a rough thing, you really just redrew the entire thing, right? Yeah, that was weird. I thought it would just understand the paper was the paper, but it didn't. Anyway, I'm super impressed. Seriously. I mean, like, I think the UI needs some help because it's confusing. But I'm super impressed. I would use this. Absolutely, I would use this. I can find lots of cases. Actually, well, I'm not going to do it right now. Let me see. I'm going to ask a question, though, of Google. Like, I'm going to say Adobe turntable. Sorry. Turntable. Stupid walk-on buttons are in the way. Turntable on bitmaps. Oh, it'll work on bitmaps too, huh? Well. Let's just see about that. Pepe memes. Not Pep memes, Pepe memes. Let's see if this is true. Actually, someone asked me, like, Pepe versus Apu versus, what's the other one called? Peepo versus Apu versus a Groiper. Yeah, there's several of these charts, but here's one I saw. No, this is not the right one I'm thinking about. There's another one which is like really detailed, actually. Now we're doing frog research. Yeah, this is it. Types Amphibia, it's called. Type from the Book of Keck. Okay, let's take a look. That's Pepe. This is the sad Pepe. This is smug Pepe. Where's the Amphibia chart? There's lots of these guys. That's a honkler. That's a Groiper. That's an Apu. Where's that Amphibia chart? Yeah, this is Pepe. Okay. A Groiper, a Walter, a Pepe. I didn't even know there's all these kinds here. I know of Peepo and Marvs and Smidges, Apus, Pepes, and Groiper. But I don't know what a Walter is. A Sleem, a Quiet, a Bebo never seen. These look like special, not frogs, but friends and related things. Interesting. Okay, there we go. Now you know. Here's all the types. I suppose the sizes are correct as well. Yeah, but I think Peepo is the cutest. He's just really nice. He's really cute. But I like the befuddled look of an Apu. It's a kind of a neutral, like, confused face. Some of these other ones can look a little sinister sometimes. Okay. So now we've done our frog investigation. But I did want to actually pick something from here. Peepo is the cutest, yes. But I just got to warn you, if you're researching these frogs, They are used in sometimes rather naughty memes. Let's say it like that. Sometimes very inappropriate uses. Or, yeah. I want something simple, but not... I don't want to pick anything controversial. And nothing, I want one character standing. How will it process that? I might pick that. One character, I just want a character standing. Is that, wait a second. Yeah, this seems like this is like a weird character. Why can't I just get the image? I just want this image, okay? Okay, we can go back to Illustrator. Okay, and I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. I'm gonna paste this here. Oh, I can turntable it. Okay, this is good. What's gonna happen here? This is just a bitmap. It's not a vector. So let's continue. I didn't realize it worked on images. So I didn't even need to draw it that way. I could have done turntable on my sketch, I guess. Will it handle this? What will it do with the background, which has a gradient? I'm in love with this feature. I'm not gonna lie. If this works on bitmaps, oh, that sucked. That sucked. That's not what I expected at all. It didn't really do what I expected at all. Lumiere says, my experience with them is through Twitch, so I don't really see the weirdest stuff. Okay, I understand. I'll test again with bitmaps, because I have seen someone get a better result here. And this may just be a weird image on top of it. Okay, but it was worth a try. Let me try one more. Again, I want a character that I gotta pick a character that isn't controversial. And like, it's understandable. Okay. Okay, this could be decent. Right? Copy image. Okay, let's try this. Maybe this will be easier to deal with. Edit, pastes. Okay. Let's just see what turntables. I think it's still gonna mess it up, but we'll see. Maybe it really needs vectors for it to shine, or there's something wrong with the previous image. I'm not really expecting a better result with this bitmap, but we'll see. But this is cleaner, I think. Nope, it's the same thing. It's just like, oh, nope, I'm just gonna treat it like a flat image. So skewing and rotating, but not. I mean, this is useful for certain cases too, but not what I wanted. Right? It's not what I wanted. But that's a good little experiment, right? I'm glad we tried that. Okay. Now let's try, I'm gonna try, we want to try Affinity. Do I have Affinity installed? I think I have it. I made an update. Yeah, I think you're right, Lumiere. It may be a background transparency thing. I think you've got a good point there. I will try that after the stream. Let's install an update. 1 gigabyte update. I'm glad I have fast internet. Okay, and meanwhile, Affinity. Oh. Of course, I'm not going to use any AI features because Affinity that requires a Canva subscription. Affinity. AI. Actually, there's no AI features that I want to. I can try because I don't pay for Canva. Well, let's just load it up and just verify it launches anyway, even if I'm not going to use it. And then we'll do the Magma test, or just play around with it. So Ryan from Magma is actually in our Discord. So I talked to him some months about doing an interview. So I'll bring that topic back up with him and see if we can do an interview. I'm glad I'm streaming today because otherwise I just would have spent it with Claude Code the entire time. What do I want? I want... Sorry, I lost track of what I'm trying to do here. I just want to verify Affinity launches. Yeah, okay. Where is it? Overwrite, overwrite, overwrite. Yeah, Lumiar, that's right. Magma is the online drawing. So they have a new desktop, a beta of their desktop feature. Okay, I'm going to do this sign up thing later, log in later. Let's just get, let me find the install. I'm going to go to X. I always open up X in a separate browser because you just never know what's going to show up on X. And I've been burned before with inappropriate content being shown on my timeline. Let's see, I want Magma. Magma, yeah, here it is. See, it says try out Magma Desktop, download from link in post. Let's take a look at it. So Ryan Allen, he's the one in my Discord. Download macOS version. Let's just take a quick peek at it. It says test out the new Magma standalone app to see if you have a better experience than dedicated desktop app than the browser. Okay. Yeah, it's very easy. And if I have one thing I noticed is one time I clicked on something and I didn't understand what I was looking at, and next thing you know, my feed was filled with that topic. And it was, I clicked on something relating to Andrew Tate. And it was like a funny thing about him talking about books. He doesn't like books, by the way. And next thing you know, I got a whole bunch of interesting characters showing up on my... Oh, the ads are awfully inappropriate. Very, very bad. Like, when I'm browsing it normally, not all the time, but often I'm browsing and I'm seeing responses. And like, there's not only... There's like, how did I say this? OnlyFans ads. Not ads, but like, because they're not technically ads, but somebody will be posting a picture of themselves. Like, I don't know. Let me just make an example. Let's suppose you're interested in the Wacom Pro Pen 3. And you'd be looking at people like, oh, I love the Pro Pen 3. They keep replying. There'd be somebody with a picture of themselves, maybe not wearing much, saying, hey, if you like Pro Pen 3, you should really visit my OnlyFans. I'm like, okay, we didn't really need to go there. Should I play the clip? I'll play the clip maybe. Hang on. Okay, let me find it. It's so funny. It's hang on. Again, now my search history on YouTube is going to be poisoned. Whatever you say, it is actually quite. It is funny. It's okay. Yeah, okay. You're just gonna have to again. I'm not endorsing this view. I'm not endorsing the view. I think he is joking because he's his brother's talking about books here. Okay, let me turn off my my sound effects and I'm just let the man speak for himself.
Reading books is a very cheap way to, I guess, entertain. I wouldn't call it entertainment because my brain is far too advanced. I'm too smart to read. I'm not gonna sit there and go, smart people read. No, I need action. I need constant chaos in my life to feel content. I need to be driving a supercar and fucking fighting, fucking a bunch of hoes and champagne and going crazy. I can't just sit there, oh, and the pirate on the boat. Like, it's for people with slow brains.
Okay, that. So I should have warned you. There's some interesting language in there.
66.
But yeah, that is Andrew Tate on books. Again, I'm sure he's joking, but whatever. That's quite the segue from Pro Pen 3 to OnlyFans. Yeah, it is. It is. Thing is, on the internet, if you're on social media, there's no way to segment yourself from what people talk about. You're gonna find out whether you want to or not. In some ways, it's good. Like, now my YouTube feed is going to be absolutely. In some ways, being exposed is good because you know what people are talking about. You know about new things you can say, like bone smashing and look smaxing. I said look smaxing to my doctor the other day. You learn about phrases like Riz and no cap. And just how people communicate. That's good. You know, people say 6, 7 for some reason. I don't know why. So you learn slang. But you also get exposed to maybe people and ideas that you certainly would not encounter in your day-to-day life. I know, JC. He's got to be joking. I'm sure he's joking because he's, like him or hate him or whatever. I don't have an opinion because I don't watch him, but that was funny. That I have to admit, that was. It's a good it's a comedy bit. It's a comedy bit. Okay, I think I downloaded it, so let's find it. Magma. Okay, here we go. Now, I think Kanina said she tried it on either Windows or Mac. I can't remember. She didn't say, but it crashed on her. So let's hopefully I'll have a little bit better luck. And I have not tried it, so I have no idea what to expect. Okay, it is copying over. So I'm just waiting for it. Okay, I guess it's there. I guess. And we'll just take a light look at it. Yeah, it is installed. Okay. In a weird way, recommendations seem to work across the internet nowadays. My recommendations might get infected. Yeah, it is possible. It is possible. Okay, did Magma start? Where is it? It is started. Oh, it's on the other screen. Okay, hang on. Here it is. Desktop Magma. New canvas. Okay, 1920 by 1080. 10 tinfoil hat mounting gauge. JC says, I understand you. I had to create other social networks, opening just one meme feed reel from my friends and facts. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay, so you're going to notice in a second, but ads will be, because this is free, ads will place here, and you can remove the ads by, if you refer it, or you can do I think this is a subscription. I think you can do a subscription like, you don't have to pay sorry. You can pay $10 a month, or it's like, I think this is interesting. It seems like you can get rid of ads for 30 days if you do something here for $2.50. So that's interesting, right? I don't know what mags means, but if you get, anyway, so we're not here to discuss payment or subscription plans, pros and cons. We're just here to draw. Now I've got it set on 1920 by 1080 canvas, so if it looks a little bit rough to you, drawing smooth as heck. And I've built several apps that draw on the web. And native, actually the web app, but somehow converted to run natively, or not natively, but maybe it's an Electron app or something. So the same web code is running locally. That's my guess. But I would say it's pretty responsive, honestly. If you were using it comparing to Clip, you might not notice the difference in terms of speed. I think there was a little, what the hell happened there? The app is still up, but that thing just disappeared. Let's Magma file, new window. Okay, so something just happened with it. Okay, that was a problem. Let's try it again. That was unusual. Okay, so that was weird. Don't know what caused that. It feels good. Are these documents? Like, what's a board? Oh, a board is a different. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna fool around with boards. I'm just gonna do this. I think it's hard to evaluate it live because I think there's more questions I have. And I don't use Magma normally. Is there a light mode? I will check. I will check. Help. Window. Oops. Don't allow that. I don't see one right now. I'm looking at the UI itself. I don't see one. Maybe here. View. Yeah, I don't see a light mode. I can ask them. Or ask Ryan in the Discord. Maybe he'll answer. I think people should check it out and give feedback. I mean, it's a beta. This isn't like a V1. This is a beta, right? So there's going to be issues, and I'll report any issues I find to them. I'll probably give it a decent little try. Like I'll draw a couple of frogs or whatever. Is there an airbrush here? I don't know. Again, it's more responsive than I would have guessed, right? Honestly. Draw shapes. Okay, so that's it. I just want you to be aware of this app and give it a chance. Just go to, what is it? What is the site? Actually, that's a good question. What is the site called? It's magma.com. Just go to magma.com, and at the front page, it'll say, I don't know where it says the beta for this thing. Oh, go to blog. And it says test Magma app. So just try it out. Just try it out. Okay? And give them feedback. That's what they're asking for. Okay? And with that, I've been streaming now for 3 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to end the stream. Everyone, thanks so much for joining me. This was a super fun stream. We covered a lot, as we always do, with our rambling discussions. But this was super fun. And I will be streaming again soon. Everyone, have a great day. Bye.